What's going on, everybody? I wanted to talk about something. I want to talk about kangaroo courts and how to know when you're in a kangaroo court or when you're being deceived by the court proceeding. And today, I'm basically wearing off more than words because got a few words for this. So, for some of you guys who going into some of these court proceedings and you're asking all these questions, you're seeing stuff on the internet. I keep telling you guys that it's easier to know court procedure. Okay. Some people may not agree with me, but I will tell you that court procedure will actually bring you back to the Constitution. Okay. When you're in an unconstitutional event, you need to understand that you need to evoke the Constitution. You don't have to bring up constitutionality of the charges, etc. But you do have to bring up the fact that the proceeding is acting in a manner which is where they do not have the authority. So just understanding what kangaroo court means, we'll just go over what the Oxford Dictionary says, and then we'll go in deeper to actually, I'm going to show you some proceedings or a proceeding. I'm going to preserve this for my law classes. So in my law classes, when I do mortgage law classes, when I do eviction law classes, when I do criminal law classes and civil law classes, what I'm going to actually do is show you what to watch out for when you go into court, and so you can deal with this and you'll be proficient in dealing with it if you choose to go into court. But if not, I have a 4-1 law class that's available, and this will show you how to stay out of court. Okay, so you have to understand if you're going to go through court, and in my opinion, sometimes it's good to go through court just to see the charade that goes on. So you have to be, as the Bible says, you have to be wise as a serpent and humble as a dove. Okay, an unofficial court held by a group of people in order to try someone regarded, especially without good evidence, as a guilty crime or misdemeanor. Okay, so when you see stuff where you see people going into court and they're being berated or railroaded, and then you see these people put this on the sovereign citizen website and stuff saying, see, look at these sovereign citizens. You should always be wary of where they get this information, because this can actually be court officials actually playing a game on the public, where the person who goes in there and acts as a so-called sovereign citizen can actually be either a police officer, a lawyer, or a clerk of the court. So you never know when you're being deceived. So always reserve your belief for, kind of just, thinking it out. All right. So we're going to go to a kangaroo court. And you've probably heard this term. I've seen people on the internet, bring up kangaroo courts and etc. And we're going to go over it because I'm going to show you a case, and it'll open your eyes to how the judge and police officers will just berate you, abridge your rights if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, kangaroo court. The term kangaroo court is an idiom referring to a court whose proceedings deviate so far from accepted legal norms that they can no longer be considered fair or just. The label of kangaroo court is a severe condemnation and is generally only levied against judges presiding over egregious miscarriages of justice. So what I'm gonna show you is an egregious miscarriage of justice. But it's not just because the judge. If you go into court and you allow the judge to take over the case, they're going to take over the case. And most people don't know how to deal with that. Okay. So then, you start getting emotional, you start getting angry, and it's not really about getting emotional and angry. It's about preserving the record and knowing what to do in every situation of court. And the only way you can do that is to study, actually trying it out and failing, really. And I failed over and over until I started learning how to succeed. So don't be afraid to fail. Most people are afraid to fail. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my car. No, you can always come back. If they steal your car, you can always come back and get the money for the car after, it's never done. You see what I'm saying? It's only done when you give up. Okay, the term kangaroo court carries an implication of wrongdoing, meaning that mere incompetence is generally not enough to warrant its use. Common reasons a court may be accused of being a kangaroo court can include accusations that the court exhibited extreme bias against one party, and we're going to see this in this case. So I'm giving you a precursor, and I'm also trying to fall in with the fair use. Okay, there was collusion between the judge and one party. This is exactly what you're going to see in this clip. The due process rights of the accused were not respected. Exactly what you're going to see in this clip. The process was completed in such excessive haste that the parties could not have a fair trial. Exactly what you're going to see in this clip. So, to go no further, I'm not even going to read the whole description. Okay. We're going to learn some, I'm going to show you something, and this will help you put in perspective. So, when I do my law videos and things now, I'm going to start showing a little bit more to you guys, but I want you to listen to this, and it's going to be good for you.
State of Michigan versus Maurice Anderson, 224017394. You have to turn your microphone on, Mr. Anderson. Hi, could you state your name, please?
Maurice Terrell Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, you're here today on a speeding ticket. The ticket was issued to you February 9th, 2022 on Whitaker near Talladay in Augusta Township for speeding 25 miles per hour or more over the speed limit. You were ticketed for 64 and a 35. The penalty for that is $180 and 4 points. You can admit responsibility, or we can have a hearing. What would you like to do?
Now, you hear what the judge just said. You can admit responsibility. This is a psychiatric trick. She's not even a judge, as you see her name. She is a magistrate. Okay, she is trying to trick him into admitting responsibility. Now, obviously, when this guy got into court, he didn't do any paperwork. He didn't do anything with the ticket. He probably didn't read the ticket, because 99% of people get tickets do not read them, because it shows you how to get rid of a ticket by reading the ticket. This is why a lot of stuff on the internet, when people say you got to send it back in 3 days and all this other, man, just read your damn tickets. Start reading your stuff and stop listening to everybody on the internet that tells you what to do. Look at your ticket and see what it says, because in some tickets they'll tell you that you have the ability to do a jury trial. Well, in this case, she is trying to convince this guy that if he doesn't accept it, he's shying away from a responsibility, and in a way he is, because it's a debt, and he hasn't put anything on the record to challenge it. Okay, back to it.
Have a hearing.
All right, could you raise your right hand, please? You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
ma'am.
Now, here's the issue. He's moving to have a hearing, but I'm guaranteeing he probably was not served to come to court. He probably wasn't he probably didn't receive any, he probably received a notice, because the ticket usually has a notice on it to appear. But I guarantee you, he has not received any signed statements or anything. You see what I'm saying? So he's going to just let himself get berated. And this is what happens. They know you don't know this. So, all the people some people are just like, oh, yeah, I just want to learn how to do a W4 sandwich. I want to learn how to do accepted for value. I want to learn how to do. No, you have to learn this. This is the basics. So listen to what this irritates me, because I wish everybody knew their rights.
Okay, go ahead when you're ready, Trooper Schreiber.
Yes, ma'am. On 2/9/2022, approximately 4 p.m., I was sitting stationary at the old Augusta Township Fire Hall on Whitaker Road near Talladay in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County. At that time, I was activating my stationary radar, which I then observed a vehicle traveling northbound Whitaker Road at a high rate of speed, which then proceeded to give a steady reading of 64, then 63, 60, all the way down to 55 before it ended up passing my location. I then proceeded to pull out on the vehicle and conduct a traffic stop on Whitaker Road, north of Talladay. at which time I advised the driver the reason for the traffic stop. He advised that he thought he was going 60 miles per hour.
I'm going to stop this because the details don't even matter. Okay. What he's supposed to ask, Mr. Maurice over here, what he's supposed to ask him is, what is he testifying off of? He needs to ask the judge, can the officer present what he is testifying off of? Because he's obviously testifying off of some notes, or obviously testifying off of some document that he obviously doesn't have access to. So instantly, this testimony should be struck from the record, because none of that is placed on the record. Okay. So a lot of y'all, like, y'all don't understand how easy it is. And I have more of this stuff. I can cut these videos up and break it down to you like them. So stop trying to go into court and listen to people tell you appoint the judge as trustee and all this other stuff until you actually have knowledge of how to do that. If you do that, you appoint the wrong person as trustee anyway. But listen how she's letting this man go off and just create this record that doesn't exist. Because if he doesn't create this record, the defendant wins.
I have received several complaints at that location concerning speeders going through there, and that was the reason for me sitting there.
What does that have to do with that case?
Based
It has
on his
nothing to
drive
do with
record,
it.
I did not feel that it was appropriate to give any breaks at this time, and I proceeded to issue him a citation for.
He doesn't have the authority to give any breaks at any time. You see what I'm saying? So as we go back, you'll start to see that first of all, the proceedings lack decorum. She asked the guy, are you going to accept responsibility, or are you going to go to trial? Okay. What do you mean accept responsibility? I didn't receive everything. I didn't receive discovery. I didn't receive any of this. So what do you mean? You see what I'm saying? So the court interpreted the law in a way that would have forced a party to act completely unreasonable manner. That doesn't apply for this one. Okay. While the term kangaroo court can be used in cases where either party is unfairly treated, it is more commonly used when the defendant is unfairly convicted or in a civil case where relief is unfairly granted to the plaintiff. So look at this. Who was the plaintiff? Who was the plaintiff in this matter? She didn't even cite the plaintiff on the record. See, if you don't know what you're doing in court, see how easy you could be trapped? This isn't even a record. It is a kangaroo court.
60 in a 35 mile per hour zone. I am a certified radar operator and have been for over 20 plus years.
Did he put that in evidence? No. No, he didn't. And the man is just sitting here and he is not objecting to any of this.
And I did verify my radar both before and at the end of my shift.
What does that have to do with court? Nothing. So they do this. I call this the Shaq and Kobe. This is the two-man. This is the LeBron and Dwayne Wade. This is the Michael and Scotty. Okay? They are doing this and they're finessing him. And he doesn't even know that he's being finessed. This is how you have to be aware of all your surroundings. He looking all off in La La Land. He ain't even there. He's there, but he ain't there physically and mentally.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
I didn't get to explain myself when I did get pulled over, but
Because it don't matter. You don't hold court on the street. What is he talking about? I didn't get to explain myself. He's not a judge. Talking about cutting him a break. They are psychologically playing this man, and he can't even see it.
I was coming down Whitaker and got pulled out of the trailer park.
Also, facts not placed in the evidence, even though he's sworn, he doesn't have any evidence to back this up because he can't, because this is a kangaroo trial. Now, he didn't even talk about this. Now, if somebody's going to drag you into court, they have to have standing and capacity to sue. When she initially announced his case, she didn't even say who's suing him. So I would instantly objected right there, Your Honor. Who's suing me? So look, it is not uncommon for litigants and at times even courts to confuse the concept of capacity and standing. However, there is a difference between capacity to sue, which almost everybody has the capacity to sue, which is the right to come into court, and standing to sue. Okay, so she has to say, he has to ask, does he have standing to sue me? And how did he obtain standing to sue me as a police officer, which is not of the judicial branch? So how did he get it? How did he get the authority to sue me? Which is the right to relief in court. See, if you're seeking to see if somebody can sue you, that means do they have a right to relief? So who has a right to relief in this case? It's the defendant. But see, if you don't know that, you'll sit there and get played out of your position and end up being the liable party. Okay? Which is the right to relief in court. He's the one with the right to relief in court. He's the one with the negotiable instrument that they're brokering on behalf of him. Although the plaintiff may have capacity to sue, which is most corporations, so you hear on the internet, a corporation can't sue. Yes, it can. It can't prove an injury, so it doesn't have standing to sue. If the complaint shows that he is not a real party in interest to the claims alleged, see, the officer is testifying, but he's not a party of interest. He was not named as a witness. You see how they just played this man? And you see when you understand the court, it says he lacks standing to pursue those claims. So that means that the officer, either the officer is suing me or he's not. Okay, so if the officer is not suing me, then the real party of interest is not in the court, except for the defendant. So I move for judgment. So look, a lot of people telling y'all, oh, you got to fill out Form 56s, 1099. No, just deal with the case as it is, right on its face. And then you can get your damages. You can get your restitution just by dealing with it like that. The distinction is significant as the issue of standing goes to what? The jurisdiction of the court to hear the claim, while the capacity is not jurisdictional in nature, because any person can sue, any corporation can sue, any entity can sue, a trust can sue you, a corporation can sue you, a government can sue you. But once you bring up standing, oh, now we in the ballpark, okay? And instead constitutes a plea and abatement. So if you guys never heard of a plea and abatement, we're going to go over that on this call right now too. So some of you people who've had my law classes, you already know about this. You know what I'm saying? You already know about this. So the term plea and abatement refers to a plea which, without disputing the merit of a plaintiff's claim, objects to the place, mode, or time of asserting those claims. That's what he should have done. A plea and abatement permits the plaintiff to refile the suit in another place or forum or at another time. You could do a plea and abatement so cold you could lock up a court forever, damn near, that they just gonna dismiss the case because they can't get around it. You see what I'm saying? So look, connections based on lack of standing involve jurisdictional challenges and may be raised at any time in the proceeding. He never did that, right? So it's not over yet. You know, it got 6 minutes left, but I'm just telling you, foreshadowing what's going to happen, because I'm going to have to stop this a little bit more. So look, we'll get back to him. And it's funny, I titled this video "Cop Railroading Defendant," because that's exactly what they're going to do. And the magistrate is in there. He doesn't even know where he's at. You see what I'm saying?
Right in front of me. And I didn't slow down. I went around him. And as I went around him, I did speed. And
there you go. So why did you ask for a trial? You should have been asking for a plea. If he were going to admit, he asked for a trial. They asked him, do you want to just accept the responsibility? If he says, yes, I accept the responsibility, Your Honor, and I transfer my interest I transfer my interest back to the officer. You see what I'm saying? So he doesn't know he's dealing with a bill of exchange. He doesn't know he's dealing with negotiable instruments. He thinks he's dealing with the facts in the case. But see, that's what's sad, because a lot of people don't know. I wish I could just teach everybody. But a lot of y'all be walking in court. Y'all be so oblivious to what's going on. Back to him. He's sitting there testifying against himself and don't even know it.
And when I came up to the 35, I knew I was speeding. But the reason for me speeding is because I passed somebody that pulled in front of me.
That sound like a good idea to him? That sound like a good idea to add that as testimony to the court? Look at the officer with his smug look. Like, look at this dumb ass. He's like, this dude's a dumbass. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diss you as a dude, but in court, you really need to understand court is a game of strategy. Credit is a game of strategy. Life is a game of strategy. You better have a strategy. Don't just come up in this court thinking that the officer is going to, the magistrate is going to feel pity for you or feel bad. I done seen people in court have no money to their name and the magistrate give them a payment plan on $100 ticket. You know how foul you got to be as a human being to do that to somebody? That's crazy to me. Paying the ticket they don't even owe. Then they justify it because you go into court and you allow it. It's called plausible deniability.
He pulled right out
You
in front
can't
of me.
speed to pass. You can't speed to pass. You don't get to speed to pass somebody.
Did he ask, where's the law that says that? No, he didn't. Oh my God.
Okay, it was either that or rear end him.
None of this is in evidence. Why are you testifying to it? He just came into court, and I'm only using him because there's a bunch of people on this roll. I got a bunch of people I could do this on. But he came into court and asked for a trial and then admitted to what they told him he did. Without saying, Your Honor, I may have sped, but this court lacks jurisdiction because of these procedural issues. You see what I'm saying? You can lock this court up so crazy.
Oh, okay. What do you think the speed limit was at the place where you passed him?
45.
So you had to go 20 miles per hour over the speed limit to get around someone? You must have been speeding already.
I object, Your Honor. I object, Your Honor. See, she's making legal conclusions. He's not even saying nothing. He's just letting all this get on the record. If they are even on the record, because she never said that they were on the record. And there's more to this video, meaning there's a longer roll to this video. And at no time did she ever say they're on the record.
No, I wasn't speeding already. I told you the guy just pulled right out the trailer park, right in front of me.
Did you see
And I went
anything?
around.
Did you see a white pickup truck, Trooper Schreiber? Or anything?
No, not, ma'am. And also,
Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. Why would he see that? Why would he see that? It's not in his interest to see that. His interest is to see you, not the white pickup truck. What the hell does a white pickup truck have to do with anything? You haven't brought any of this into evidence. So why are you testifying on it? He talking about the price of tea in China, and they in Argentina. He in the wrong building. He in the wrong house. He in the wrong subdivision. And they just laughing at him. Look at it. Look at the officer's smug look on his face. This just looks so punchable.
I just note that there's also 2 other infractions that still are not on his driving record back on 5/20.
Look at this. He's still allowing him to testify. He's still allowing this man to testify and drag his name in the dirt. And ain't none of this on the record.
6 of 2021 and 8/22 of 2021.
Objection. He is not a prosecutor. They are holding court, and he is not a prosecutor. He is not an attorney. He is not a DA. He is an officer. So the only thing he's not even sworn in while he's testifying right now. He swore in at the beginning. They are railroading this young man, and he just can't see it.
Concerning
Okay.
another infractions.
That he got double parking or something like that for?
No, they're still in criminal procedure.
That means that they can't be brought up. They can't be brought up in court because there's no verdict. They can't be held against him. But watch this.
I see. Okay.
Mm.
Look, he's confused. He's like, what? Because he could have just made that
So
up.
I think this obviously happened. I think you've admitted to it, Mr. Anderson.
See, I think.
The only thing that I would be willing to do if Trooper Schreiber is not objecting is lower the speed so that you would be eligible to do the driver improvement course. We need to lower it to something that has 3 points or less.
And the only thing that I would object to is just the fact of the stuff that you're not seeing on his driving record yet. And
What are those? Can you see what the,
How can he object? He can't object to this. He's not a fuck. I'm sorry. This stuff pisses me off. It irritates me. He's not a lawyer. He's not a party to the lawsuit unless he is. But she never put on the record who the defendant is and who's the plaintiff. She just asked, is the defendant in court? I'm sorry I curse. It irritates me that people go to court and they're so uneducated like this. And then you go to court and you be like, you start looking at YouTube videos. Hey, I need to learn how to do a 1099. I need to learn how to do it. What the hell did you let on the record?
citations are for?
I don't know if I can discuss that in front of the court right now. It's
They're not speeding tickets, though?
they're
He still ain't objected. He still ain't objected. What the hell? He still ain't objected. This pisses me off.
ones concerning I believe in Trooper Smith is here right now, involving both of them.
Okay, are they
One's
Are they
concerning
moving
him
violation? Are they moving violations or are they criminal charges?
moving violations.
Okay. And they're just not on his record because he's filed something to.
No, it's involving submitting to the prosecutor concerning future criminal.
I see. Okay.
She cannot use that. She cannot use that. And look at this idiot where I got the video from sitting there in a wee bit. You don't know what it is. He's just talking. He's just talking. These charges could not even exist. And because look at his smug face. That's why people do not like police. He has a punchable face. Very punchable face. I'm not saying I will punch it, but it might run into my fist. This guy is very, very irritated. He looks like he used to get bullied in school.
Yes, ma'am. Trooper Smith here.
Yes.
Whoa. Who's Trooper Smith? Has Trooper Smith been named as a complaint? Has Trooper Smith been named on the ticket? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I'm more mad about this than the defendant. And the defendant's the one getting finessed.
They're both criminal proceedings, not traffic.
They're criminal proceedings.
A criminal proceeding is just something that's lodged as a misdemeanor. That's it. So if anything could be under a misdemeanor, you'll find out that most traffic violations are not actual criminal proceedings. They use a criminal citation to make them misdemeanors.
Proceedings, not civil infractions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
None of this is in the record. And she did not even swear who Trooper Smith is. Where the hell is Trooper Smith? Where did he even come in? He not even on here. You know what I'm saying? He's not even on here as a person appearing in court. They just ran such a cold game on him. And that's why you always gotta stay ready in life, man. In the words of Sugar Free, if you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. Your mind gotta be sharp, man. This dude mind ain't sharp. He just all over the place. He just look at her like, duh. They just running the Shaq and Kobe on his ass.
So, I'm going to find you responsible, Mr. Anderson. I'm just trying to decide whether or not I'm going to give you any kind of an amendment on this. I'm looking at your driving record to help make that determination.
I can't believe he let his traffic ticket be here in front of a magistrate. Woo! And where's Trooper Smith? I still don't see him on the screen.
Man, if it does help the court, Trooper Smith again.
Where are you
There
at?
is a plea and elude out of Wayne County that I was involved with Mr. Anderson that
Okay.
is still pending.
Hmm?
And what's the event? What's the event date?
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. That's why they are just lying on this man, and he don't even know. And she is just sitting there, and this dude just sitting like, who? Dude, I'm sitting here like I'm so steaming. I'm not even him, and I'm more mad than he is. He should be heated. He should be heated. I don't know if he did it or not. But how did they ever, man? They just talking. They just talking. She can't even find it. So if she can't find it, meaning she can go. All courts have, all these judges have access to court files, because if you are in a state, they can say, okay, what county did that happen in? Okay, let me go look that up. Okay, sir, did you know about this? You see what I'm saying? They just run it. They just, man.
For that.
I have no timetable as Wayne County's
Okay.
pretty backlogged.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't, because they just making it up as they go. He's sitting there like, what? I have never heard of these charges. And you see the person that made this video is like, see, you know, that piqued his interest. What are you talking about? How do you even know he did it? That's why I hate those so-called anti-sovereign videos, because the people are so stupid. They listen to these videos and then they'll sit there and say, oh, look at these guys. He's a sovereign citizen. He tried to stand up for himself in court. Those people are communists, man. They're communists. They want you to go to court and just do what you told. You should never just do what you told. You a human being. You got a soul. What are you sitting there letting some other man tell you what the hell to do for?
Ma'am,
No,
it's
I mean, when do
involving,
you-
He ain't objecting
it's
to none of
either on the
this.
526 or it's the 822 of 2021. It's involving
Okay.
a Polaris.
Okay.
What the hell does that have to do with this case? Well, it has nothing to do with this case. You see what I'm saying? So basically, if he does get found guilty because of that, he can actually challenge if they try to find him guilty in any other case.
All right. I think that what
I didn't get no ticket
I'm
for
being told today. Go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
No, you talking about something on my slingshot?
No, we're not
He said
dealing with that.
He said
Okay,
Polaris. He said something about Polaris.
we're not dealing with that today
Oh, why did he bring it up then?
because
Thank you. Why did he bring it up? That's why you need to object, because you shouldn't allow stuff like that, that's salacious, to be placed on the record, because the guy, they not obviously trying to help you. And in the code, just like I said, they running that 2-man weave. They running a 3-man weave on them. But they had Trooper Smith. Where the hell is Trooper Smith? He just RKO'd out of nowhere and came up in this mug like a wrestler. Nah, where you at, Trooper Smith?
I was just about to say, what the troopers are telling me is that your driving record is bad. And what they
So?
are telling me is
Put my driving record into evidence. What the hell are you talking about? Tweety Bird's grandmama? What you talking about? You ain't talking about nothing. You talking about hearsay.
that it's
Look, I'm
actually
pissed.
even worse than I can see, because there are some pending criminal charges against you. And the
How do you
reason that
know?
they're telling me
How do you know? How does she know this? She doesn't. And he just sit there like, ooh. No. Your Honor, it seems that you are not giving me a fair trial. It seems like I am dealing in a manner to where I don't have a win. And yet, I feel like you're Captain Kangaroo. Okay, so now, in modern courts, the idiom is used to illegitimate I thought it would be illegitimized, but illegitimate an unjust decision. When a judge uses the term kangaroo court to refer to another court, it is a strong indication the judge will overrule the previous court's decision. Alternatively, if the judge lacks authority to overturn the previous decision, it is a strong indication that the judge will ignore the decision's uh, precedential effect on their current case. American courts will also use the term kangaroo courts to describe foreign legal systems that are unjust. Although although a foreign court does not need to follow American due process laws for its decision to receive res judicata effect in the United States, fundamentally unfair court systems are not able to bind the American justice system. So, all right, despite the common belief to the contrary, the term kangaroo court has origins in the 19th century America, not Australia. There are two competing theories on the origin of the idiom. The most popular explanation is that the term kangaroo court came about to describe frontier judges who would hop from one town to another with little regard for making fair rulings. So if you've ever heard this before, you'll hear a judge is riding the circuit. What do you think they're doing? They're hopping from town to town. Okay, other etymologists believe that the term refers to the ad hoc and less formal courts that deal with claim jumpers, gold miners who are accused of prospecting in another miner's land. These courts were set up quickly and comparatively with little oversight. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like what Mr. Anderson is going through right here. You notice like Anderson in the Matrix. So it sounds like he's in the Matrix right now, and he's getting dunked on right now.
That is because it's the opinion of Trooper Schreiber that I should not give you a reduction on this charge.
But Trooper Schreiber is not the complaining party. He is not the complaining party. He is not the prosecutor. He technically is, but he can't prove how Mr. Anderson injured him.
And he's letting me know why. So we're not handling those matters. He's just informing me that that is part of what's on your driving record. I'm not giving you a reduction. I'm finding you responsible for the ticket as written. The fine is $180, and you have 10 days to pay that. You have the right to file an appeal. If you want to have Judge Simpson hear your case, try to get a break from Judge.
Appeal what? He ain't objected nothing. He ain't got nothing on the record. All you have is their testimony on the record, and they just ran
Simpson and the prosecutor. You can file an appeal. You have 7 days.
See, like people in the streets. You be like, people in the streets is foul. No, it's these people that's foul. Look at this. She's finessing this man, and he's sitting there looking like ain't saying nothing. But I guarantee you, if a person on the streets would try to run his pockets, he'll try to beat the hell out of them.
To file an appeal, and you can call the court clerks and ask them how to do that. Any questions?
No, I don't have no questions. I want to know why they brought up my case.
I just told you why.
Okay. All right, I'll pick your mind. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all I had for you, Trooper Schreiber. No.
So, as you can see, he said, I'll pay the fine. So, all of that, he just wasted his time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something, and you kind of got to see me get heated for a moment. But I thank you guys for showing up on my channel. It seems like the views have doubled. Let's see if we can get it to 3,000. On the road to 3,000 to 4,000 views. But I appreciate everybody who stops by my channel and comments in the comment section. And I hope you learned a lot. I'm out.